Have you ever noticed how exam season seems to take over your entire life? Suddenly, every conversation is about exams. You tell yourself you'll start revising today. And even when you're studying, part of your brain is worrying. Am I doing enough? What if I forget everything? What if I don't get the marks I want? If you've felt that way recently, you're definitely not alone. Exam season can be overwhelming because it affects everything: your sleep, your energy, your confidence, your routine, and even your mood. So in this video, I'm going to give you a complete exam season survival guide. We'll talk about studying, revision, productivity, sleep, food, stress management, confidence, and what to do before walking into the exam hall. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan to survive exam season while staying healthy, focused, and confident. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's make this exam season a little less stressful and a lot more successful. Before we talk about study techniques, revision methods, or productivity hacks, we need to talk about something even more important: your plan. Because one of the biggest reasons students feel stressed during exam season isn't that they have too much work. It's that they don't know exactly what to do next. When your brain sees 10 unfinished chapters, 3 assignments, 2 upcoming exams, and a pile of notes on your desk, everything starts feeling urgent. And when everything feels urgent, it's hard to focus on anything. That's why the first step to surviving exam season is getting everything out of your head and onto paper. Take a notebook, a piece of paper, or even a notes app. Write down every subject. Under each subject, write every chapter, topic, assignment, or revision task you need to complete. Don't trust your memory. Your brain is for learning, not for storing dozens of reminders. Once you've listed everything, highlight the topics that need the most attention. Maybe it's a chapter you never fully understood. Maybe it's a topic that appears frequently in past papers. These become your priorities. Now here's a mistake many students make. They create an unrealistic timetable. They decide they'll study for 12 hours tomorrow, wake up at 4 a.m., revise everything, and then when they can't keep up with that schedule, they feel guilty. Instead, create a plan you can actually follow. A realistic plan is always better than a perfect plan. Even studying consistently for a few focused hours every day is more powerful than one huge study session. Your goal during exam season isn't perfect. Your goal is to make steady progress. One chapter completed, one topic revised, one practice paper finished. Those small wins add up faster than you think. But having a plan is only half the battle. Because what if you're studying and still forgetting everything a few days later? Let's talk about how to revise effectively without spending your entire day rereading notes. Have you ever read the same page 3 times and still forgotten most of it the next day? A lot of students think revision means reading notes over and over again. It feels productive because you're looking at your notes. You're spending time with the material. But recognition is not the same as remembering. When you look at your notes, your brain says, "Oh yeah, I know this." But when you're sitting in the exam hall with no notes in front of you, suddenly it's much harder to recall. That's why effective revision isn't about putting information into your brain. One of the best ways to do this is called active recall. Here's how it works. Study a topic. Close your book. Then ask yourself, what can I remember? Write down everything you know without looking at your notes. Whatever you forget becomes your revision target. This forces your brain to retrieve information, which strengthens memory much more than simply rereading. Another powerful method is practice questions. In the exam, you're not being tested on how well you can answer questions. So whenever possible, practice answering questions under exam conditions. And if your exams involve theory-heavy subjects, try teaching the topic out loud. Pretend you're explaining it to a friend. If you can teach it simply, you probably understand it. If you get stuck, you found a gap in your knowledge. Revision works best when it's spread out, not crammed into one giant session the night before. Even a quick 10-minute review of a topic a few days later can dramatically improve retention. So instead of constantly learning new things, make time to revisit old topics too. And while we're talking about studying, there's something that quietly ruins exam preparation for thousands of students every year: burnout. You can have the best study plan in the world. You can know all the right revision techniques. But if you're exhausted, overwhelmed, and running on 4 hours of sleep, none of that matters. Now, let's talk about something students often ignore until it's too late: your health. During exam season, many students start treating themselves like machines. They sleep less, skip meals, drink too much caffeine, and sit at their desks all day. Then they wonder why they can't focus. The truth is, your brain is part of your body. If your body isn't functioning well, your brain won't function well either. Let's start with sleep. I know it's tempting to stay up late studying, especially when exams are close. It feels productive. You tell yourself, I'll just sacrifice a few hours of sleep and get more work done. But sleep is when your brain strengthens and organizes memories. So if you're constantly sleep deprived, you're making it harder to remember what you've studied. A well-rested brain can often learn more in 2 focused hours than an exhausted brain can learn in 5. Next, let's talk about food and movement. During exams, don't fall into the trap of surviving on snacks alone. Your brain needs proper fuel. Try to include balanced meals, fruits, vegetables, protein-rich foods, and plenty of water throughout the day. And please don't forget hydration. Sometimes what feels like a lack of focus is actually dehydration. Now, about movement, you don't need an intense workout routine. But your body wasn't designed to sit in one chair all day. Take short walks, stretch between study sessions, or simply move around for a few minutes. Here's something important: taking care of yourself is not wasting study time. It's protecting your ability to study. You cannot give your best effort if you're running on an empty battery. And speaking of protecting yourself, let's talk about something almost every student struggles with during exam season: stress and anxiety. Confidence during exams doesn't come from telling yourself, I'm going to get full marks. Real confidence comes from knowing you've done your best with the time you had. So stop comparing yourself to classmates who seem to have everything figured out. You don't know their struggles, and comparing yourself only steals your focus. Instead, look at your own progress. Maybe you're understanding topics faster than before. Maybe you're procrastinating less. Maybe you're finally sticking to a study routine. Those wins matter. And when negative thoughts show up, don't treat them like facts. Just because your brain says, I'm going to fail, doesn't mean it's true. Replace that thought with something more helpful. I'll focus on what I can do right now. One chapter, one revision session, one step at a time. Because progress creates confidence, and confidence makes exam season feel much less scary. The day before an exam, many students make a huge mistake. They try to learn everything at the last minute. This usually creates panic instead of results. The day before your exam should be focused on revision, not cramming. Review key concepts, formulas, definitions, and important questions. Pack everything you need for the exam. Drink water, eat properly, and most importantly, get some sleep. When exam day arrives, remind yourself that your job isn't to be perfect. Your job is simply to show what you know. Take a deep breath, read each question carefully, and focus on one question at a time. You don't need to know everything to do well. You just need to stay calm enough to use what you've already learned. And there's one final thing every student needs to hear before exam season. Before this video ends, there's something I really want you to remember. Exams are important. They deserve your effort, your focus, and your commitment, but they do not define your worth. I know some of you are putting a lot of pressure on yourselves right now. Maybe you're scared of disappointing your parents. Maybe you're worried about your future. Or maybe you feel like one bad result will ruin everything. But that's simply not true. Your grades can measure how well you performed on a particular exam. They cannot measure your kindness, your creativity, your determination, your character, or your potential. So yes, work hard. Revise consistently. Give these exams your best effort. But please don't forget to be kind to yourself too. You are a human being before you are a student. And no matter what happens, one exam can never determine your entire future. Quick recap: create a realistic study plan. Revise actively instead of just rereading notes. Take care of your sleep, food, and health. Manage stress by focusing on actions, not fears. Walk into the exam hall with confidence and self-belief. If you apply even a few of the tips from this video, exam season can become much less stressful and much more manageable. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I truly hope this video helped you feel a little more prepared, a little more confident, and a little less overwhelmed. You've got this. Keep showing up, keep putting in the effort, and trust yourself. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more study tips, productivity advice, and student-friendly content. And while you're here, check out my next video because it might be exactly what you need for your best exam season yet. Sending lots of luck and positive energy your way. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.